All right. Welcome back. Episode number 6, Outside the Dot podcast. I am your host, Greg Smirk Schreiber, and I've got Ryan Badger with me on the call. What's going on, buddy? That's how we start things here. Let's get right after it.
Just recently I've been on the gym grind like every day, just in the gym early in the morning, eating better, like 4 eggs, 3 sausages after the workout, just kind of refueling the body, trying to put on muscle, weight, good weight that is. But really, other than that, it's just been kind of relaxed. I have summer homework I have to do for English, which kind of sucks, but got to get that done by first day of school. Then I've just been hanging out with friends. I had a birthday party yesterday that I went to yesterday with a bunch of my friends, which was it was a good time. Just being together with everyone as a whole was kind of refreshing, and it was just good to be around everyone.
We got guys
Um,
being dudes, or we got a couple birds in there too.
the guys being dudes.
Okay. I gotta ask. I gotta ask, man. I was there once too.
That's understandable, but you know, just been looking at potential hockey or football cards to maybe purchase or trade with other people. Been big into that recently.
Dude,
Just
you
trying.
gotta talk to my buddy. We gotta get him on for a conversation. That's how we both started, and now we're collecting jerseys. So we definitely gotta get him on.
Yeah, and then we'll talk like all that type of stuff. We'll get into jerseys, stuff like that. But yeah, how have you been this past week? I know it's been an eventful week for me, but how's it been for you?
You know what? So Deadpool came out on my birthday. Obviously, pod dropped on my birthday. Went and saw it Sunday. What a movie! What
Dude,
a movie!
that movie was awesome.
That was so. I've been telling everybody probably about like a soft 9, like probably somewhere in the high
Yeah,
8 range, but like a
yeah,
soft 9.
yeah.
Um, the perfect amount of fan service, the perfect amount of plot, just
The
so
jokes
many
were awesome.
so many cameos too. Like, yeah, it was just
Yeah,
done, it was done so right. It was done
yeah.
so right.
And it
Um,
was it was like if you had to bring Wolverine back, that was like the only way you could have done it, and they executed it perfectly.
yeah, exactly. And shout out to Hugh Jackman, right? Like for even coming back for that. So that was awesome.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, just kind of been on the college football grind still. I mean, the game's still going strong. Me and my buddy played in the college football playoff semifinals, and he was up 2 tuggies, and I came back, and he was pretty deflated after he threw a couple picks.
He blew the
So
game up
he
too
he
tight.
blew. Yeah, he was up 2 tuggies. I brought it within one right before half, and then I kicked the ball to him second half, and that's when it all just went to hell. He threw
Oh.
back to back picks on 2 straight drives, and one of them was a pick six. After he
Oh.
gave that up, like he was just deflated. So I feel bad for him, but
Did you
what
end
else
up
do we
winning?
do?
Did you end up winning the chip?
So I haven't played the chip yet because I want to stream it for him because he's obviously in our league and it's just us two. So
Yeah.
I'll stream it for him and I'll get the capture card going, that whatnot. Valorant champs also started today, so I'll be watching a lot of Valorant. Big Valorant guy. But other than that, just I mean the days till I go back to school are dwindling. It's getting to be a small number, and I don't know how ready for it I am. So
How many days do you have left?
yeah,
Yeah, I
so
go.
I don't know how many days left I've got, but I'd rather
Mhm.
not know.
Yeah, I go back the 15th. So that's like what, 14 days from now?
Yeah, literally 2 weeks.
Oh my. I didn't realize it was that close.
What a weird day to start though, a Thursday.
Yeah, well because the freshmen and transfer students go back to Wednesday, so it's not it's I like that it's not a full week because it kind of just gets you back in the groove, and then you have a full week the next week. You don't really do much those first 2 days. It's just kind of
Syllabus
like
days.
syllabus days, like
Ugh,
orientation. Yeah,
syllabus days. That's crazy.
yeah. And you brought up Valorant. Did you see it's coming to console?
I did. And it's not gonna be crossplay, but it
That's
will
so,
be cross progression. So I don't know that I'll want to play on console, but I might pop in to play a few games with the boy. So
yeah. Do you think it'll be free?
it is absolutely gonna be free. Yeah,
Okay, bet.
yeah.
I'll probably have to download that once it comes out, or did it already come out?
I think it's open beta right now, so you should be able to rip it right now.
Okay.
But weekend check-in's done. Let's get to the hockey talk. We had a little bit more news this week than we have in the past, so that helps us out a little bit. Sometimes you get a little tired of being a talking head sometimes when the news is a little dry. But let's get after it. We've got some signings here, and let's start with the biggest one first.
Okay.
And I think we can undoubtedly say that this one is probably the biggest, and we've got Brock Faber coming in with an 8x8 and 8.5, which is crazy money for a guy who's played 1 year.
But he's gonna be worth the money, and like he's probably worth the money now. Like this was someone the Wild needed to lock up. And remember, he came over in a trade from LA. So if you're LA, you're kind of kicking yourselves after that one. But like, did you hear on Chicklets that he played the last 2 months with a fractured rib or 2 fractured ribs or something?
Who did, Faber?
Yeah.
No, I didn't hear any of that.
Yeah, he had played the last 2 months of the season with fractured ribs.
Yeah, no way.
And they had a debate. Do you think that pushes him over the edge for the Calder voting if that was known information going into voting?
No, I don't think so. I don't think you can let
I don't
that,
think so either.
I don't think you can let that swing your vote, right?
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah,
it's still valuable information.
No, this is a huge deal, and
Yeah.
I mean, the Wild are kind of in that weird situation because they've still got the Suter Parise deals working against them on the cap for the next, I believe, 3 years. The value drops down, but still, I mean, that's dead cap space you're not getting back. So,
but I mean, once Buium and Faber are kind of like really in their groove in the NHL, like look out for the Wild after they kind of get that cap space back when the buyouts are off the books.
Yeah, when they can spend a little bit, I mean, you've got a bona fide superstar already.
Yeah, they've got Kaprizov locked up.
There's no doubt in my mind Kaprizov's a superstar, so
yeah.
I mean, he's proven that time and time again.
And we have to remember that Spurgeon and Brodin were out for majority of the season, if I'm not mistaken, because of injuries.
Yes.
And
I think Spurgeon missed more, no?
Yeah, he was out. I think he had like a season-ending injury about like a quarter, halfway through. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I remember it was a pretty bad injury.
Yeah, and I think he's one of the more underrated defensemen in the entire league. So
100%.
Just a cool stat with Brock Faber. He was playing almost 25 minutes a night.
He was lugging minutes.
Crazy. As a rookie, man. There are guys that are getting like 12 a night. Like, come on. This guy's getting almost 25. Just 12 seconds shy.
I mean, did he make plays that were like making him not get? He earned those minutes.
100%.
So I think he's gonna be a superstar to come. I think he'll probably be on the Olympic team in 2028. Is that when the summer? I mean, winter Olympics
26.
are 26. He'll probably be on that team. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to watching Brock Faber in the coming future. Like I saw that signing and I was like, I kind of want to get his jersey now.
I think that one of the coolest things is his GM straight up said, like, people were like, hey, you're throwing the bag at this kid. He's played 1 year. And he was out there saying it's worth the risk. I watched him for a year. I'm okay with taking this swing. And we kind of talk about that a little bit. It's like it's hard to really judge the later from the now, but this deal looks good, and I know that some people might see it as a slight overpay, especially with him being a rookie, but this might be a bargain as it comes down there.
Yeah, especially with the cap going up, like in 4 or 5 years when the cap jumps up probably 8 to 10 million. Like it's gonna be looking like it'd be like if he's making 4 million now or something like that. Like crazy.
Yeah, I mean that's a good deal. I think we kind of, I don't know if we agreed or disagreed on this next deal. because we do talk pre-show, of course. We have probably one of the hottest topics of the offseason anyway. Marty Necas getting locked in for 2 years at 6.5. For a guy that had 24 goals and 29 apples, I don't feel like he was talked enough about during the regular season.
Yeah, I'd agree. He was kind of flying a little under the radar, but then again, Carolina doesn't have that like superstar player. Like I mean, they have Aho, but I'd say he's borderline. Like he's right there, but he's not like that bona fide superstar that's getting over 100 points every season. Like I mean, I see you're wanting to say something. What are your
Yeah,
thoughts on
yeah.
that?
So I'm a big Aho guy, and
I know. I figured you'd want to say something after
and
that.
I would say last year he kind of proved that he's ready to take that next step. I don't know if last year he was quite good enough to say that he's undoubtedly hit that superstardom, right? We know he's a star for sure. But I mean, his teammates around him, I feel like he's consistently made these young guys that he's paired with better. So to me, it's kind of like people always say, like the Jordan or the LeBron factor. Like, yeah, you might be good, but how good do you make the people around you that are playing with you? So
Mhm.
I don't want to take away too much from the Nature's talk. Let's kind of go back to that, but I did want to chime in and just be like, I think Aho's a little bit closer to a superstar than we think. I don't think he's there,
Yeah,
but I think he's
yeah.
closer than we think.
He's definitely like like one step away, like right on the edge.
I think he has
But
another solid season. I think he's there.
yeah, 100%. And with I mean with Gensel gone, I mean that kind of sucks, but like yeah, we're getting off track. Let's go back to Natchez. I think it's a solid deal, solid price for what he's produced. I mean, he is again one of those underrated players that I'd say is more of a goal scorer. He's got that shoot first mentality.
He's got more
And
apples than he's got more apples than goals. Just for what it's worth. I don't know how many of
yeah.
those were banged home as rebounds or whatnot, but
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, I like Natchez as a player and I'm kind of invested in him as well. I've got his Young Guns rookie card, but that's not important. Um but yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to say on it. I think it's a good signing. I mean, I probably would have liked to see him get signed for a few more years, but I know he kind of wanted out of Carolina, is what I was hearing, because I think there was a chance he went to New Jersey, but they had long contract negotiations and they weren't going well for a while.
this is a classic bridge deal for sure. I don't necessarily know that it's any signaling that he'll leave at the end of this. This is kind of something where we see a guy take a little bit less on a very short term deal, and it's kind of, hey, earn that next contract. You want the big bag, like let's go. Show me that you're worth it. Um, I have obviously his name has been in a plethora of different trade rumors throughout the past year, but I mean, there was even talks of Natchez for Saros 1-for-1 straight up, which as a Preds fan I'm not doing, but
No, not a chance.
I mean, so kind of good to see him get locked down. I mean, Carolina needed to have something go right this offseason, so
Yeah.
because they didn't do a whole lot, that's for sure.
Mm-mm.
We've got some kind of off the cuff signings here. Uh, Maybe one that was a little bit of a shock too. We've got the signing out of Columbus, and correct me on his first name. What is Marchenko's first name? Kirill? Is it Kirill?
Yeah, I think it's Kirill.
So we've got Kirill Marchenko getting locked in 3 by 3.85. This, from what I see on a score sheet, looks to be fine. 23 goals, 19 assists. I don't know what he plays like. I'll be very transparent. I don't watch a lot of Blue Jackets hockey. I never really have, even when they were good. So I don't have a whole bunch to contribute, but if I'm looking at those numbers and I'm looking at what they're paying him, I'm good with it, especially considering this was a guy who allegedly wanted out and wanted to get traded, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, for 23 goals, 19 assists to be getting paid 3.85, like I mean, that's a good deal for Columbus, and I'm pretty sure he took a very large step this year which is why he may have wanted out because he may have not been getting the money. I'm not 100% sure on that either. But yeah, I like this signing for Columbus. He's been progressing. I again, like you said, I don't watch a lot of Columbus hockey either.
Yeah.
I remember watching the 5 OT game.
Oh
Um,
man, this is the game that never ends. That's how that game felt, man.
yeah, I got a concussion right before that game, so I watched the entire thing. Fell off a
Aren't you
skate.
supposed to just like stay in the dark though, but like not fall asleep if you have a conky?
I don't know, but
Anyway, we're not gonna talk about your mismanaging of your concussion, okay? You seem to look like you're doing all right.
yeah, I fell off a skateboard and hit my head in the street.
Brutal,
Yeah, it was awful. It hurt so
brutal.
bad.
So
But
I'm gonna use concussions as a segue here. I wouldn't want to take too many fists from this guy because I would assuredly get a concussion. We've got Arbor Wi-Fi Jack Eye getting the extension done here it was his avoiding arbitration. He was the guy avoiding RB, right?
no, I don't think
No, that
so.
was Lindgren. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Lindgren was the one that
Yeah.
avoided arbitration.
Jack was
So
a rookie.
this is an interesting one. He only played in 44 games, so just a little over half of a season. 3 goals, 7 assists, but he led the team in PIMS. I don't think that this is a guy that you're signing specifically to put points on the score sheet. Is it going to happen? Maybe. You know, you're going to take whatever you can get out of him, but he seems to be a big locker room guy, and of course, he's the guy that's going to stand up for you if you're getting ragdolled around out there. So I don't know what the numbers are on this deal. Wasn't able to find that in a quick search, but I mean, as long as they didn't go crazy, I'm very okay with. I know this was a short-term deal too. I believe this was a 2-year deal.
Okay, yeah, so it's kind of like a more of a prove yourself, and then you'll get the longer deal, probably in the 5 to 6 year range for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's probably not gonna get. You're not signing him for the points. You're signing him for the physicality he brings and the fearless play that he brings to your lineup. And we saw him fight everyone. Like he
Everyone.
wasn't. Dude, I'm excited to see him go against Rempe one time. Like that.
You
And
think so?
Jack is smaller, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure, he's smaller. Reba is a giant, dude. Of course he's
I
smaller.
know. Could we see Jack Eye going for his legs? Just like
No,
tackle.
no way. No, I think that's an unwritten rule. You just don't do that, you know?
Yeah. But I mean, like you said, just building off of that, he's a big locker room guy. Like I've seen articles of guys just loving him in the locker room. He's big morale guy. But yeah, I like this signing for the Canadiens. He brings the grit that they kind of lack because they have more of a skill team.
They have a skill team, and a lot of their guys are young. And speaking of one of
Yeah.
those young pieces, they just locked up another one, and that is, correct me if I mispronounce this last name, Caden Gooley, I believe is how you pronounce that.
Yeah.
And he had 6 goals, 16 assists in 70 games played. This is a 6 by 5.55, which I love this signing, and not so much for the player himself. Like, I don't think this is a deal where I'm like, man, they really got an awesome steal here. But what this deal does for me is shows me that they're going to try and lock in all of these young guys now, so that if they do hit a plateau and they start to hit their peaks, they're going to be okay. They're going to have them locked in and not have to worry about paying them $10 million a year. So
Yeah.
I love this more for the big picture than the individual. What do you got?
I mean, I think giving him 5.5 after having 22 points in 70 games is a little much, but I think they're more banking on him to maybe like break out in the next coming years. So then that deal will then look more normal, I guess, because right now it seems like a little bit more of an overpay. But like you
Looks
said,
a
they're
little steep.
building. Yeah, they're locking all these young guys in and kind of building that core, and then eventually they'll keep adding pieces down the road. And you also have to think they've got Reinbacher.
Yep.
No, yeah, they've got
Yes, they
Reinbacher
do.
coming,
They've got
and
Hudson
then
right now.
Hudson, who will play a full season this year.
Yep.
Um, they've got Demidov coming up.
Yeah.
There's talks of him potentially coming over this coming year.
They've got
I
another defenseman too. There's another high-profile defenseman in their system too.
I can't think of his name, so maybe if we could find that a little later and bring it up again. But yeah, I think this is again just a banking on him breaking out, and I think if he doesn't, it'll look like an overpay, and that may affect him. But with the cap going up, I don't think it'll be a big deal.
So just quick little search on that, and I'll probably butcher his last name because it's one of those Frenchy names. Just so
Mhm.
happens that it's like that. Is it Milo? Logan Milo? It's Maillous. But he's pretty highly regarded. It might be Mallow. I don't know. Regardless, he's another big prospect that they have coming up. So that defense is looking strong coming up. So not only that, you've got Slavkovsky locked in. You've got Suzuki locked in. Suzuki might be the single most underrated player in the entire league.
Yeah, you'd never hear Nick Suzuki's name in the news.
I saw a stat that was, and this will be the last piece before we move on. I saw a stat that was like some sort of compilation of goals, face-off percentage, and I don't remember. It was like some third stat, and the company was like, it was like McDavid, Crosby, McKinnon, and Nick Suzuki. It was
I think
like,
I
come
feel like I
on.
saw that.
That was I think that was a big head hockey. I think that was a big head hockey post.
Mhm.
But I just feel like that guy kind of gets dragged, and people were like, oh man, he's not gonna be worth it. He's not gonna be worth it. And then now all of a sudden he's like, hey, what's up? Like, so
Yeah,
I don't know.
isn't he gross in the face-off dot?
He's disgusting. Yeah, he's
And
he's
he's
something.
he's kind of on a Bargoon deal, right? Like
He's on a good deal. Yeah.
it's like
So here it is. It's every center with more goals, points, and a higher face-off percentage than Nick Suzuki. It's Austin Matthews, Draisaitl, JT Miller, Crosby, Stamkos, and Aho. Like, that's gross.
that's basically like the top guys in the league.
Yeah, I mean, there's no McDavid there. I thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought McDavid and Crosby was there. I thought McKinnon was there too, but I suppose
Mhm.
not. Yeah, that's an elite list. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think this year is the year that the Habs take a step, but we could talk about that another time when we get into previews.
Yeah. That's coming up.
That'll be in September. So
Yep.
we got one last signing to talk about. This one is the avoiding arbitration one that I alluded to earlier when I misspoke. And this is Ryan Lindgren getting a 1-year deal at 4.5. 3 goals, 14 assists, but that's not what he's there to do. That guy is there to give the absolute body.
Yes. He's definitely more known for playing with an edge. And I like that about his game. I think it complements his ability to move the puck and kind of create those opportunities for the guys that have the ability to score and that are pure goal scorers, like your Panarins, your Kreiders, like guys like that. And I think this was just kind of a deal to keep him and not like lose him for nothing.
Yeah.
Because he's definitely a valuable piece to a more skilled up team like the Rangers are. And I think losing him and then the possibility of potentially losing Truba, which I don't think will happen, but there were rumblings of it.
I think there's too many obstacles to get rid of Truba now.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on it? I don't think it's like a hefty signing.
I
But
think this is a little high.
I
I
would
don't
agree.
know. Maybe I'm a little crazy for that. Maybe like 3.54. Like, all right, yeah,
Yeah.
we're getting into like such a small gap of like, oh, well, you're calling that an overpay. Yeah, I get it, but I
But
mean,
when
for
you're a
a team,
team up against the cap, like the
exactly,
Rangers,
and that's why that matters so much. So it's
yeah.
weird because they did this to avoid arbitration. I genuinely wonder what the arbitrator would have put his salary at had it gone through to arbitration. Now
And
the
wondering
problem,
if it would have been lower.
yeah, exactly. But the problem with arbitration is then that usually sets the precedent for the guy being like, hey, you don't think I'm worth, X, Y, or Z amount of money. So then that kind of leaves that sour taste. We're kind of seeing that with Swayman right now, where they're
Yeah.
kind of unsure if he'll even sign an extension. So
That'd be kind of funny if the Bruins trade Omar trying to lock up Swayman and then it just doesn't happen.
yeah, that would be really funny. That would be really funny. I mean, for a team that's done pretty much everything right. I mean, obviously they've won a couple cups in my lifetime, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Swayman to the Blackhawks? Question mark.
no way, no shot. All right, moving on to someone who is leaving the NHL. We have kind of talked about, oh, this guy's in the league, he's not in the league, he's in the league. Oh, well, that rumor to the KHL was false, and now it's actually true. It's officially finalized. Kuznetsov is going back home to the motherland. He's going to the KHL, and I don't have a ton to say on this just because we've kind of beat this conversation to death. I'm just kind of constantly bringing it up. I just the only thing I have to say is hopefully he gets rejuvenated going home and playing in Russia, because man, we saw one heck of a drop off.
Yeah, and it was almost like instant. It was like 1 year he was a top point guy on the Capitals, and then the following year he was getting demoted to the AHL. Like,
Yep.
and then getting put on waivers. Like if he just stayed where he was at and he wanted out, they could have gotten a bag for him. Like probably a first round pick if I had to guess, being if he stayed at his true potential. But yeah, you kind of hit the nail on the head. We've kind of beat this into the coffin, like almost probably majority of our episodes now.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I hope he gets rejuvenated and I hope he enjoys playing. I'm sure we'll get news and clips of him in the KHL, but I'm just excited that he's kind of going where he wants, and I hope he enjoys the game as much as he used to.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we want. We want to see these guys enjoy it. And obviously, there's been tons of information that, the life after hockey is so tough. And that goes for any sport, mind you. It's not just hockey. But, I feel like hockey is probably the tightest knit group of people in terms of the community and in terms of your teammates. So it's tough. And a lot of these guys have a hard time adjusting afterwards. I believe there's a program out there for ex-NHLers because it's so tough.
Yeah, I believe there is.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain about it. I don't know the name of it, but I know that it exists. Something that's not on our outline. Line did in fact leave the players' assistance program, so that's pretty cool. I know you're a big Line guy, not for his skill on the ice, but for something else. So I'm gonna give you a quick little airtime with some memes that you found pretty funny lately about Mr. Patrick Line. Come on, get it together, bud. You got this.
Okay, so I was just scrolling on Twitter looking for some news, and I see Patrick Line is now a Hab, and I was like, huh. So I click on it, and then there's this guy replied to his own tweet, and it was habitual Fortnite player. Patrick Line is a habitual Fortnite player.
It's true.
And I just thought that was pretty funny after what happened when they were leaving TVs in different cities for when they traveled just to play Fortnite at its peak. But
that's wild. Yeah, Fortnite used to be a absolute wonder to play, but
yeah, now it's
a money grab. But
yeah. But then there was another one where Patrick Line got traded to FaZe Clan. I thought that was pretty funny.
He's getting ready to hit his 360 no scopes trick shots compilation. He's ready. Yeah. He's ready.
Bro, he should 100% make a YouTube channel and bank off like the Fortnite memes.
He probably should, but I think he's set. Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, honestly,
I'm pretty sure he's set.
Or do you think he burned all the money on V-Bucks?
I don't know, man. Is he trying to be like the guy out there who has everything in the store that has ever dropped? I don't know. All right, silly moment over. We've got a little more serious note. Eric Staal announced his retirement, and I actually was kind of surprised that they're retiring his jersey more than anything.
he had a very like he played majority of his career in Carolina, if I'm not
I would
mistaken.
say it
Right?
was about 90% of his career was in
Okay, and
Carolina.
then he
Yeah.
ended off in Florida.
So he bounced around the last 2 years.
Because I know Mark Stahl. There were two Stahl brothers on Florida the year they went
Yes.
to the finals
Yes.
last year. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't. Eric Stahl really wasn't from my generation, so I'm probably just gonna throw this over to you because you probably know more about him. But from what I've seen or heard about him from other people, is that he was a very good two-way center
Yeah.
that played the game very what's the word?
By the book.
By the book, very sound. He didn't really go out of his way. He was kind of good at everything, kind of like a Sidney Crosby.
I
But
wouldn't
yeah,
say as much high end skill, but yeah.
well, similar in the way they play. But yeah, I'll toss it over to you. Get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think it was kind of wild that he's getting his jersey retired in Carolina, and I think that maybe if he was on a team with a little more history, that doesn't happen. But for a guy who is he's short of 500 goals, I mean, he's got over 1,000 games played. Like that's really good. I don't know. I mean, in the COVID season, he was there's a lot of stuff going on where people didn't really like want to go after him, and then he took a year break if I'm not mistaken. So there was a whole lot of weird stuff that happened kind of more. So like maybe it's the recency bias of like, but in his prime, like in those Carolina years when he was dominant, he was probably my generation's Anze Kopitar, right? Like, cause you're young
Yeah,
enough to at least know how dominant Kopitar is in the two-way
yeah.
game. I would
Mhm.
probably say like that. Maybe a little more scoring touch, because he did
Yeah.
have 100-point season, but
Mhm.
I think really, obviously an incredible career. I don't know that he's a Hall of Famer. I would doubt it, but
I'd be astonished if he got into the hall.
because he's just over 1,000 points, so I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
think he's there. But like I said, I was more shocked not by the news of his retirement,
Yeah.
but the jersey retiring, and again, I think that has to do with the history of the organization that he played a majority of his
Yeah.
career with. It was a number 2 pick, so that's kind of cool.
Wow. How many seasons did he end up playing? It was
So he started in 03, so
20?
almost 20 seasons, 19 seasons. Well, he took the 1 year off too,
Yeah.
because he didn't play 21, 22.
Mhm.
So
Hell of a career.
yeah, I mean, you got to give it to him. It's still a very good career. Don't get me wrong, but uh, has he ever lifted the cup?
I don't think so.
I think because that Hurricanes Cup would have been before him. No.
Wasn't it '08 they won the cup?
Oh, then he would have won a cup.
Because that would have been the Rod Brindamore year, right?
It
Because
would have, yeah. Yeah, it would have.
if
It
you
was
want
it was
to.
oh six. It was oh six.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was his second year in the league.
Wow.
Because 0405 was the lockout year, if I'm not mistaken.
I
Right?
wasn't alive then, so.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, true, true. Um, so we kind of talked about another guy who just like actually officially announced his retirement too. So I just want to kind of give flowers to Joel Pavelski. He is officially done.
Yes.
We kind of talked about it a little bit. You know, probably a top 5 greatest American born player ever.
Yeah.
And that's with the assumption that Austin Matthews keeps it up and eventually surpasses him. I wouldn't say that today he surpasses him, but shout out to him. Obviously, that's huge. Like to see that those guys are ready to take that next step.
Yeah, you just wish he would have gotten a cup because from what I've heard, he's just an amazing dude, and he's apparently really good at golf.
Yeah, I've also heard that. Right before we close out our show today, we're gonna do a couple things. We're gonna try something new. Right before the end of the show, we're gonna do a little trivia. This one is the topic today is He shoots, he scores, defenseman edition. So I need you to name the top 10 goal scorers that are defensemen from this previous NHL season.
Is it goal scorers or just points?
This is only goal scorers.
Okay. Well, we'll go Makar,
Okay, you've got number 2.
Hughes,
You've got number 7.
Yossi,
You've got number 1.
Victor Hedman.
Not on the list. He's number 11. He just
Oh.
missed.
We'll go Daniel Sprong. Really?
Yeah,
Dude, he had like 20 goals.
he's a forward.
He's a forward? I thought he was a D.
No, he's a forward. Yeah, he's a forward, but he does play the point on power play. If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that I think that's why I thought he was
yeah,
a D.
yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
But you were so sure, like you were locked in. You were like, I got this. No, that was good. That was good.
I was thinking about it before the show. I'm like, dude, no one's gonna think Daniel Sprong too. So
You're missing 3 gimmies for sure. Like these guys are like, if you're telling me defensemen scoring goals, I'm like, bang.
I've got so much pressure right now. It feels like I'm in the spotlight. I'm
You
fumbling
are.
the bag.
That's why trivia is hard, man. You get this unexpected question. Think about it. Who's shooting the puck? I mean, everybody's shooting the puck from the point, but like, who's consistently doing it?
Mort Sider.
Nope. I don't know what number he is, but he doesn't even make the top 20, so that's a tough one.
Oh, that's a tough pick.
That is a tough pick.
I look like a rookie right now. Dude, why am I blanking?
I'll give you a clue.
Yeah.
I'll give you a big clue. One of them recently won the Norris.
Oh, Miro Heiskanen.
Nope. Didn't win a Norris.
Well, I know, but he's on the list, right?
Is not.
Are you kidding me? What?
I'll give you 3 more strikes. And I'll name them.
Okay.
One of them was traded recently too.
Evan Bouchard.
There you go. Now we're back on track. So you've got
Dang.
1, 2, 5, and 7.
1, 2, 5, and 7. So
Yep.
3 and 4. Who would 3 and 4 be? Oh.
One of these guys, 3 or 4, was traded semi-recently.
What year?
Within the past 3 years.
3 years.
Number 10 was traded this offseason.
Bro, my mind is just blanking right now.
No, it's all good. Hey, we got to do it for content, you know?
Yeah.
We got to be a content farm, baby.
I missed the next round. I'm like, this segment sucks.
Hey, we got to try something new. I've been watching a lot of BDGE. I don't know if you know those guys. They do NFL trivia, and it's really cool. So I kind of wanted to just give it a shot, see what it's like.
Yeah.
I'll give you one more guess, and then I'll kind of rattle it off just because I can tell you're feeling the pressure, and I get it. It's tough.
Yeah. What can you name a division for number 3 or 4?
Number 3 is Pacific, and number 4, oh man, I'm really bad at the Eastern divisions. I believe they are Metro. The Eastern divisions always throw me for absolute loop.
Drew Doughty.
Drew Doughty does make the list at number 8.
Okay.
So you're missing that Pacific one still. Are there any more Pacific boys on here? No, there are no more Pacific boys after you guess number 3. But I said we could stop there. If you want to stop there, you can. If you want to keep rolling, we can.
I kind of want to get this one.
I'll let you get this one and we'll go.
Okay. He wouldn't be from Vancouver. Wait. Okay, no Vancouver.
It's not. I'll give you a freebie there.
The only other person on Edmonton it would be Ekholm.
It's not, but he's close. He's 18, so like that wasn't too far fetched.
Vegas, the only one I could think of would be Shea Theodore.
Nope. It's not Vegas.
San Jose definitely doesn't.
It's definitely not San Jose, don't worry.
Anaheim wouldn't have it.
Nope. I mean, Fowler in his prime would have, but not now.
Yeah. Um.
I like this process of elimination that you're going with, though. I like this.
No one else on LA.
Nope.
Vince Dunn.
No, but a heck of a guess.
Oh.
That's a good one. That's
So
a good one.
it's not Seattle then.
Nope, it's not Seattle.
What team am I missing? There's one more team that I can't think of.
Battle of Alberta.
Calgary. Rasmus Anderson.
Nope. Wrong defenseman.
Who else is on Calgary?
Was a Panther.
Mackenzie Weegar.
Yep. Yep.
He had a down year. Like I didn't hear him at all.
He had 20 goals.
He did?
Yeah.
Bro, he was not talked about at all though.
Yeah, he had 20 goals. He played every single game this year too, so that's pretty cool.
Okay.
Number 4 was Rasmus Dahlin.
Oh my god.
Number 6 was a cookie. You should have had this one. Was Adam Fox. I don't know how you didn't get that one. 9 and 10, I didn't. These are the two that I didn't really expect you to get. Like I was like, I don't really expect these ones at all. Thomas Harley at 9. Like I don't think you're just pulling that one randomly. And then number 10 is Chychrun.
Okay. I think if I had a list of teams next to me, I would.
So as long as you're not looking it up, like feel free to like have the
Yeah.
list of teams. I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, like when these guys do trivia, like they just have to go off the cuff. They're literally sitting on a couch and have a stick mic, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know." So, that's a little trivia piece. We'll see if we like that.
Yeah,
I'd like to be
we'll
on the other end of it next time and just kind of see how it goes. But
we'll trade off every week or something.
yeah, I am kind of the defense guy. I know you play defenseman. Or apparently, you told me pre-show that you might be switching to forward, so that's kind of cool.
Yep.
But other than that, I think unless you want to touch on the Olympics real quick, I know that's not really our shtick, but
I mean, have you been watching at all?
so the Summer Olympics do absolutely nothing for me, and especially when they change soccer to be U23. So for those of you who don't know, soccer, they only allow under 23 players to
play at the
participate,
Olympics?
and they get like, I think it's 1 or 2 exceptions. Like you can bring like 1 or 2 overage players to your team. Now, for any of the European squads this year, they didn't really have that opportunity because they just played Euro. So like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched the gymnastics a little bit and swimming. Those have been the main two that have been on. But I think the U.S. has a lot of gold medals. I know Simone Biles is kind of taking all the gold medals.
Yeah,
dude, she's unbelievable.
She's unreal. Apparently, she's hurt and still doing all of this. She's
Yeah,
crazy, man.
Like I think she's 4'6", and she goes like 12 feet in the air when she does her floor routine.
I gotta fact check you on that height because that's like an unbelievable height.
Yeah, she's super short.
I'm just trying to find her height.
And I'm pretty sure.
Why is this impossible to find?
I'm pretty sure after this Olympics, she'll probably hang them up.
She's 4'8", so you were close. You were very close.
Yeah, but
dude, she's all muscle too. Like gymnasts are unreal.
Yeah. And her husband's now in the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, so you'll be seeing her at Bears games for sure.
That's hype. Oh, another thing. The Bears play on Thursday. Or today. They play tonight.
They play tonight as we're recording, yeah.
They play tonight, but none of the starters are playing, so it's gonna be like, okay. I mean,
I've never been a fan of the Hall of Fame game itself because it's like, if I'm not mistaken, this game is so much further ahead of all of the other preseason games for like no reason.
You'd have to fact check that, but I know it's just an extra preseason game for two teams. But I'm excited to get back into the football thing. Fantasy football drafts are starting to come back around, which is exciting.
So it's a week later. So I mean that's a fair enough gap, but I'll take the L on that one. That's not that long. I know in previous years it used to be like significantly before the rest of the preseason.
Yeah.
Um,
Speaking of the Olympics, though, did you see Katie Ledecky won her 1500 by 17 seconds?
she lapped somebody. She lapped somebody. I did see that. I saw that one going viral. Shout out House of Highlights. That's
My
how I
my
caught that one.
my dad told me that like when she was on the screen, like at one point she was the only swimmer on the screen.
That's
Like everyone
hilarious.
else was that far behind.
And these are like the elite of the elite too. So like that's the
Mhm.
wildest part about that.
Oh, and another crazy stat I saw is that the top 23 times for that race
We're all
are
her.
all Katie Ledecky.
Yep. I think this year's was what, like seventh or eighth on her list too.
Yeah, and the fact that she was 17 seconds ahead, you would think it would be number one,
You
but
would think it'd
like,
be very high, yeah.
yeah, but still highly impressive. Do you see the French swimmer like Leon Marchand or something?
No, I haven't seen anything about the French swimmer. No.
He was he was insane. He won the race by like 3 to 5 seconds, I'm pretty sure. And I think it was a 400 IM, but you could just tell that he was like a big step ahead of the other swimmers. And when they do since they're in Paris, France,
Yeah.
when he was doing one of the strokes, every time his head would come above water, the French would be like, yeah, yeah, and it sounded so loud. It's just like such a cool environment to probably be a part of.
One last closing Olympics thing. I guess two kind of, but they're kind of both in the same event. I believe it was Korea. Korea during all of the shooting events, everybody was like, "Man, they all look like Valorant agents." They're like, what is going on?" They literally look like characters out of Valorant. And then you have like some random Turkish guy. Like everybody else has got all these like glasses and they've got the headphones so that they don't damage their ears. This guy just rolls up. He's like, "Hey yo, let me get this. Let me try this real quick in silver medals." So
I saw that picture and I started dying.
dude looks like he rolled out of bed. He looks like he rolled out of bed and was like, "Hey, let me compete in the Olympics real quick." So
Yeah,
I
like
don't know that guy's name. I know he's Turkish. So I mean
his
that's
jersey wasn't tucked in or anything. He just had it aimed at the
he just
target.
literally went send it like.
Dude, I want to know if he won.
He's silver medaled. Yeah.
You know how devastated I would be? Like, I'd probably quit after that. Like, if that guy just beat me with like nothing and like I had all these fancy gadgets, I'd be like, I'm hanging him up. Like,
Yeah.
no
I'm
chance.
done. I'm chalked. Yeah.
That's a career right there.
Yeah. That's it. I'm putting. I mean, I'm used to like UFC fighters when they retire, they put their gloves in the ring. Like I'm just putting the gloves down. I'm out. Like so. All right. That's an epi. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're close to our average run time. So that's about it. I don't have much else to say other than see you next week. We're just getting closer and closer to hockey, which means we're getting closer and closer to previews, and I think those will lead to a lot of fun discussions. So,
Yeah.
any closing thoughts?
No, just praying for hockey to get back sooner and
Yes,
sooner.
sir. Yes, sir. All right, that's about it. Take it easy.
Peace.
Later.